Hey folks, for people who live in California, utility bills have gone up $100 due to a Trump executive order. According to reporting from Scott Turner at AL.com, about 250 Huntsville utility customers were in for a surprise when they received letters notifying them that their accounts were about to be debited $100 to take care of their electric bills. So, that essentially started, and it's the funny part about the story, which is very interesting here, and amusing, is the fact that in this story you will find that the utility companies have left them a letter saying exactly who's to blame for why your utility bills are going up $100. Listen to the letter here. Quote, "Dear customer, this letter informs you that your above referenced utility account has been debited for $100. Community Action Agency of Huntsville, Madison, and Limestone counties has notified us that the grant you received for $100 on January 23rd, 2025 is no longer valid due to President Trump's executive order to rescind the funding behind the grant. The grant you received for $100 has been debited to your account and will be due with your next invoice. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. If you need to make a payment or arrangements," and leaves the information for you to do so with the collection supervisor's information, essentially signing off from the letter from the Huntsville Utilities. And it's funny because not California, Alabama is a red state, overwhelmingly voted Republican in this past election. And the consequences of making such a callous decision when not adequately doing your research, or if not caring, it's going to lead to stuff like this. How many times do people have to tell you guys that Donald Trump does not care about the people that vote for him? It is the wealthy billionaires, it is the oligarchs that are in place now. And if you are a low-level person that voted for Donald Trump in terms of low-level income, you live in a trailer, you are someone who's barely making it by, you yourself will be affected even if you are MAGA. It is not Donald Trump looking out for his supporters. It is Donald Trump looking out for his rich friends, which, if you did not see, tax cuts are already going to be starting for the rich, not for you guys. Life does not get better being a Republican. It actually gets worse. The more you know. Hey folks, this is some major bad news for our veterans in the country. On February 5th, Elon Musk and Doge accessed computer systems and essential networks at VA, at the Department of Veteran Affairs. This week, officially, the Department of Veteran Affairs, the VA, has officially now fired 1,000 employees due to Elon Musk and Donald Trump's demands here. We also have employees that were fired who ran the Veterans Crisis Hotline. This comes after the person that is confirmed as the now Secretary of Veteran Affairs is Republican Doug Collins, who essentially is looking to privatize the VA, effectively ending military assistance for our veterans in the country. According to Doug Collins himself in a statement, he says, "At VA, we are focused on saving money so it can be better spent on veteran care." That's rich. We thank these employees for their service to VA. This was a tough decision, but ultimately it's the right call to better support the veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors the department exists to serve. End quote. So firing 1,000 employees is going to better help veterans in this country. Once again, part of the employees that were cut in this situation were employees who worked for the Veterans Crisis Hotline. This is not at all good. It's not astonishing because it's in Project 2025, but going after the VA here and our veterans, that is some major breaking news that you all should know. Hey folks, we have some major breaking news. According to the Associated Press, the Trump administration has cut REACH FDA employees in food safety, medical devices, and tobacco products. So these are essential FDA employees in the Food Drug Administration who are in charge of essentially food safety, medical devices, and tobacco products. According to reporting by the Associated Press, the Trump administration's effort to slash the size of the federal workforce reached the Food Drug Administration this weekend, as recently hired employees who reviewed the safety of food ingredients, medical devices, and other products were fired. Probationary employees across the FDA received notices this Saturday evening that their jobs were being eliminated, according to 3 FDA staffers who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly. So once again, that's reporting from the Associated Press. There also was reporting earlier this week, according to CBS News, that CDC disease detectives were fired effectively by Elon Musk and the Trump administration getting rid of them. And there also is reporting today that the Trump administration has now fired more than 1,000 of our scientists at NIH. NIH, of course, is the National Institutes of Health. They are tasked with investigating things like, for instance, cancer research in the United States. So it's not just the gutting of the federal workforce in regards to other organizations like at the State Department or at the FBI or at DOJ. It's also the health workforce in the United States. The United States health agencies are some of the most premier agencies in the world. The world relies on our health agencies for data and for guidance. And this is happening right now en masse. Also, people at the CDC being fired as well. So once again, this major breaking news here is that the Trump administration has beginning to fire employees at the FDA, as well as firing over 1,000 employees at NIH, in addition to getting rid of the CDC's disease detectives. It's a scary time, but this was all sort of warned about in the Project 2025 agenda, and it's unfolding right before our eyes. Donald Trump is continuing his crusade against the 14th Amendment, saying that the 14th Amendment is for former slaves, not migrants. This is something that obviously was going to come as the White House continues their anti-DEI movement. This is something that obviously was going to be said out loud eventually. But Donald Trump saying here that the 14th Amendment is for former slaves, not migrants, which in effect is false. It is included in the Constitution that immigrants and anyone who is born in the United States, obtains birthright citizenship, is protected under the 14th Amendment. This comes, of course, after a fourth judge blocked Trump's executive order this week to get rid of birthright citizenship. He effectively cited the 14th Amendment in his orders, as well as, what is happening right now, because this is obviously unconstitutional, but trying to get it all the way to the Supreme Court as his DOJ is enforcing the fact that birthright citizenship is unconstitutional.